I got the really, really, really high last night and went into Gnomer, the new raid in Season of Discovery Phase 2 for the first time. And look, I gotta say, it's not that hard. I think the other raid, BFD, when it came out, was pretty easy. Although my first pug, we actually didn't complete it. We got stuck on Kelris. It wasn't fun. But the raid was really easy. I think we completed it in under 2 hours last night. And I think we only wiped one time. Maybe I'm mistaken, but I think we just wiped once on the last boss. Like, it wasn't that hard. But overall, I would say it's a pretty cool dungeon. It's cool to see Gnomer again. I think that's one of the raids that, or one of the dungeons that I didn't do that much leveling up. It's closer to the Alliance towns. I think of it in my head as like an Alliance dungeon, no? You don't do the stockades much when you play Horde. You don't do Gnomer a ton when you play Horde unless you're trying to get a specific piece of gear in there. But leveling, some of the dungeons are just so out of the way. But this is the one. This is the raid for now. Remember that they have a port in Booty Bay. I almost forgot, but you can just port straight there from Booty Bay. I'm sitting there planning my run out. I'm like, oh, good thing I got a flight path over here. And then somebody in my Twitch chat was like, bro, just take the Booty Bay port. And I'm like, oh yeah, beam me up, Scooty. But yeah, you get 2 quests in Orgrimmar. And look, I wasn't rolling. There's a green that drops from a lot of the bosses. I believe the item's called Grime Encrusted Salvage. You actually need it for one of the quests. I wasn't rolling on it because I thought it was something you needed for professions. And honestly, I still need to take a look at the professions. I know there's like a cool leatherworking hat out there. I have skinning and herbing, and I don't even have the max level right now. But I did get into the raid. The bosses were pretty easy. I was actually main tanking it, and they messaged me beforehand. They're like, hey, we just want to know your experience. And I'm like, I just watched a video. I'm good to go. And honestly, I watched the video pretty quick because the first boss we were tanking, Grubbus, in my head, I had the second boss strategy. Even though like I've done it before, I'm like, all right, he's gonna drop a poison cloud, I think. So I'm like backing up, and I'm like, I don't think this is the guy that drops it. But like literally, I was baked out of my mind. I did a ton of bong rips beforehand, a ton of dabs. If you don't follow me on Twitch, I do a super lit smoke sesh over there. But that's the best way to play WoW, I think. I'm pretty sure everybody that plays is blasted out of their mind. Every time I see somebody take an AFK or a moment in a group, it's like BIB gotta smoke, BIB gotta roll up. But every time you get a random guild invite, bro, it's a stoner guild like 50% of the time. But that's the general vibe of Season of Discovery. It's a pretty chill game. There's some stuff to do. Nothing's crazy hard. There's no sweaty, I'm trying to get world first mythic rating. There's nothing crazy, right? There's only one version of the dungeon. There's no like heroic or anything like that. You go into the raid. It's pretty easy. But one thing I think that's a little bit of an issue, and I've been experiencing this with SoD a lot, is bro, everybody wants to be a speedrunner. Nobody wants to take nobody wants to take a second in between pulls. I had the guy master looting last night, would link an item in the chat and would just start counting down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm sitting there looking at the loot like, is this what I need? Should I roll on this? Bro, there was a guy in my group last night who won the leather gloves off of one boss. It was a hunter, and I didn't roll on it like an idiot because I'm like, well, I wear mail and, you know, blah, blah, blah. But the hunter won it, and guess what, bro? Guess what, bro? The very next boss drops a similar pair of gloves that's male. Guess who won, bro? Guess who? The same guy. Bro, the same guy that won the leather gloves won the male gloves. So I got no gloves, bro. I got no gloves. And in my head, I'm like, well, I'm the tank. I don't want to roll on leather, bro. I want that armor on the male. But bro, the leather gloves are better. I'm bummed. But dude got both of them, so who knows? But also, I'm not that mad about it. A 3-day reset. I did BFD a few times, and I'm pretty sure I got all the loot after like my 4th run. But I did get lucky. The one wipe on the last boss, but when we finally killed him, I think we were stuck in combat for a minute. We had to wait for somebody to die so they could do the master looting. But bro, I burned my best roll. I rolled a 98. I thought they were linking the trinket, right? The quest item you get to get the Gnomer trinket. Bro, I got the chicken trinket from the last boss. I rolled a 98 on it. I haven't even used it yet. I don't even know what it does. I haven't looked at it, bro. It's spawns a chicken, bro. It probably does damage. It's probably funny. Boss before, we have to fight the menagerie. You fight a dragon and a squirrel and a chicken. I think the tank I was running with, it was a rogue tank. Literally the first rogue tank that I've seen. He didn't want to do anything. He's like, I'll tank the squirrel and you just tank everything else. And I think the strat is you're supposed to tank the dragon by itself, and then you're supposed to tank the chicken and the squirrel together because the dragon stops every now and then to breathe. So I literally would just lose aggro on him because I'm trying to kite everything else with the group. It was a very weird strat. I think the guy was just trying to pump as much damage as he could. I don't know. Because most of the fights, he's like, you're just gonna solo tank this one. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, Grubbus is pretty easy. I think the other one's called Vicious Fallout. It doesn't really get hard until you fight the Crowd Pummeler one, and he starts shooting little gears or sliding little gears around. It wasn't that difficult, but it seemed like my group was struggling. And like I said, I think we only wiped once on the last boss. So if you're like, oh, bro, I'm trying to get all my best pieces before I go on the number. Nah, bro, you're fine. Take a couple of bong rips, hop in there. You got this. But I did get lucky at the end. Like, I didn't really get any loot, but somebody in my group, like, accidentally traded me the tier pants. I learned afterwards I wasn't paying attention. I should have formed my own group. But I was in a group with, it seemed like half of a guild or 6 or 7 people in the same guild. And I think they were just rolling on loot for each other to trade it to their friends, which it kind of sucks to do, especially when you're the pug. You don't know. They're all on voice with each other like, hey, roll on that. Hey, let's steal it from this shaman and make sure he doesn't get anything. Like that stuff happens if you're the one pug or you're the Phil in some kind of guild run. If they're a shady guild or they got a bunch of weirdos in there, they're going to be rolling on stuff they don't need so they can trade it to their buddy. And that's what happened. But luckily for me, the guy rolled on it and he went to trade it to his buddy and he accidentally traded it to me. I just see the tier pants pop up in a trade window and it's green and I hit the trade button. I'm like, yeah, dude, I want that. And then I start immediately celebrating. I tab out. I start doing some rips. I'm like, let's go, dude. They felt bad I didn't get anything and they took 2 pairs of gloves for one guy, bro. They traded me the tier. They're like, let's go, bro. This guy's cool. You know what? He did a good job tanking. We needed a tank, bro. Let's give him some pants, bro. They just traded me the pants. Anyway, I looked at the chat log later. I ended my stream already. I already tabbed out, but I saw that they were messaging me like, bro, I accidentally traded you the pants. No, please give it back. Please. No, that was an accident. And it's like, bro, the only way that happens is if you're rolling on stuff that you don't need so you can give it to your buddy. And look, I'll be your buddy. I want the pants. But they were already logged off by the time that I figured everything out. So I don't know. I got some tier pants, but honestly, until I get like another piece, they're okay, bro. Either way, if you haven't hopped in the Gnome yet, take a couple of fat rips and hop in there. Or join me. I might do it a couple more times this week. So tune in, get lit with me on Twitch. You know, twitch.tv/Cewpins. There's a link in the description. You're smart enough to figure that out. Have a lit day, my dudes.